What is going on, party people? My name is Matt, and I'm here to host this week's PlayStation Generation, episode 19. I'm joined, as always, by the great one himself, Mr. Court Lalum. What's up, Curry?
Yeah, buddy. What's up?
How you doing?
Not much. I put up a light. Well, I put the light up. I did. And then for some reason now, when you like check it at first before you put the final piece on, like the cover, lights all work, everything's fine. Put the cover on, flip the switch. Nope, something came undone. It arced, and I gotta like take it down and put it back up. But whatever.
Lights.
Home ownership.
All the things. Well, I'm glad to see you, buddy. And of course, the PlayStation Hokage himself and leader of the Backwards Cap Gang, Rice. Hey, what up, everybody? Good to see you. Hi, Matt.
What's up, my dude? How you doing?
Oh, we out here chilling,
doing
surviving, all of the things. Life is life.
You had a weekend, didn't you, Rice?
Yeah, quite the weekend.
We dirty 30, thriving and surviving. You know what I'm saying, boy?
All of that.
Can I be 30?
Yeah, but like in brackets, it's like plus or minus with like a certain number. We won't say what that number is. 40. But
Greek gods at 40 look pretty good though.
Yeah,
40. Can I be 40?
No, I was saying 30 in brackets plus 40 for some of our.
That makes way more sense.
On this week's show, we're going to talk about Bungie layoffs. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of news, Valorant stuff, Yakuza stuff, Darksider stuff. But our main topic is going to be talking about
Valorant. Really?
Yeah, real quick.
I don't do the agenda, and we're talking about Valorant.
Yeah, it's important.
What the?
Yeah, get ready.
I don't even honestly. I don't even know anything about that game. Like zero things.
Perfect.
Except
Then
that a bunch
you're
of
going to
people
tell us the story.
Play it on PC, and no one else cares.
Nice.
Prepare yourself to care. And we're going to be doing a bit of a rundown about what we think PlayStation's got left in the hopper for the rest of the year and going into 2025. But before we do all that, we, of course, need to kick things off with a little bit of talk about what we've been playing lately. Court, my dude, what's been keeping that attention and that hand busy?
Well, tomorrow I can tell you.
Okay.
But I have been playing just recently. I didn't even notice that it was there until I was playing something else on my
Valorant.
It came up. Yeah, not chance in hell. Cat Quest 1 is in PlayStation Plus. So I didn't even know it was there, and then all of a sudden I was like, I see it at the bottom because I finished 2 and I saw Cat Quest 1. So I said to my daughter, I'm like, she loves these games. They're not long. They're very, very almost perfect, I would say, for playing with a buddy. And we started playing that. So we're about 2-3 hours into it. And it's RPG light. It's not hard. The combat's not hard. It's literally what we learned from side-scrolling combat, where you'd have to learn the enemy's moves like in Mega Man and such, but you have more of a bigger room to do it in because you're not side-scrolling, because it's almost like a top view. So I don't know. I'm having a lot of fun playing that. That's really what I've been playing lately.
Hell yeah, dude! You gotta go on those quests with those cats. Those games look adorable and they seem like a good time. So I'm glad you and Emma.
Adorbs.
Some might say. Rice, my dude, what's been keeping you busy?
Yeah, I have been obviously playing Destiny 2.
Surprise!
But continuing this streak of introducing my son to different video games, entry level stuff, but he's really taken a liking to platformers. After Astrobot, he's trying his hand now at Super Mario stuff, not PlayStation, but Super Mario stuff. Yeah,
those are hard.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like they learn fast. Like
Yes.
I think we were better at video games than kids now. Like I'm gonna say this right now. All you Bloodborne people out there, you can cry all you want. The games that we played when we were kids, his computer was freezing, so he's leaving and coming back.
Yeah.
The game. The whole broadcast just gone.
Are we back? Are we back? I
Crashed.
think we're back.
Hold up. Are we still live on YouTube? Because everything just went sideways.
It says live.
It says live,
and
but I want to make
recording
sure that we're live.
Hold on, I'll go
let's
on to
go.
YouTube.
I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah, we're still going. Okay, that was weird.
So
whatever happened there.
So as kids, when we were kids, like think about it. Like those Super Mario Brothers 3, that game's hard. That game's hard. Without the flutes, that's a hard game. Like my daughter was playing that with her friend just recently, and then I was just like, "Oh, give me the controller for a second." And I got the flute, and I'm like, "Now you're on world 3." They were like, "What?"
Easy.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
Have fun with that.
Exactly, and that's exactly the game that he's trying out right now, Super Mario Bros. 3. So
Is he
just
dying
having fun watching him play and stuff.
Is he dying a lot?
Yeah.
Is he dying a lot? Yes. And watching a 3-year-old's frustration towards not being able to play a platformer is funnier than I expected.
Well, you know what one's really I found was very easier. Mario 3D World.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so I got that or Odyssey is probably like baby steps.
Yeah.
So it's like
yeah.
you can go to Astro to Odyssey or Mario 3D World, and he won't be one.
That's true. It's not as jarring.
Yeah, because at least in 3D World you have like some sort of 8-bit levels that you have to do, and then
true.
Be like, hey,
3D World to Astro is actually a really good pave.
Yeah,
really
3D World's great, and then you can play with them. Because 3D World has 2 players.
That's a good idea.
2 players, especially because my wife and I played the Ever Living Daylights at a 3D World, and when she got frustrated, it's awesome because I would just pick her up and then do the platforming holding her. So that's always an option. But I'm glad you're enjoying gaming with your son, my dude.
That's
man,
exciting. It's awesome.
I hope to one day tell stories about playing with my daughter. Right now, she is a little bit useless when it comes to video games. So it happens.
You had to put that part in at the end.
Just eats and sleeps.
Well, just generally speaking, like not a ton of utility coming from that child at this point.
Yes.
As for myself, I have been playing, continuing my Pacific Drive adventures. I'm still really liking it.
Cool.
I put like 25 hours into the Marvel Rivals beta. I can't stop playing it. It's really good. It's a lot of fun. I really resonated with it. I got both of the permanent unlocks, including the Cyan Venom skin and like the Venom nameplate. So I'm super stoked to get those, and those will carry over into the full game when it launches. So I'm stoked. I've really been enjoying it. And then the other one that has like completely grabbed me and has not let go is a game called Fights in Tight Spaces. During one of the Key 3 shenanigans, one of the press conferences, I saw a game called Knights in Tight Spaces. And basically what it looked like was like this little, like almost Into the Breach square where you were playing as like knights and stuff. And it was basically like, you had to use all the cards to basically fight your way through the level and kind of whatever. So I looked them up, and they had a previous title called Fights in Tight Spaces, which is basically John Wick. But it's like John Wick meets Into the Breach meets Card Battler, where like you load into this, like it's a roguelike where you're trying to get through the entire thing on one deck, obviously, and you're adding the cards to the deck and changing them up. But like you have cards that are like do punches, do jump kicks, do blocks, do counters. And it's like planning out. I'm not one for puzzle games whatsoever, but there's something about this style of like tactical card battler that like really scratches my brain, because I'm like, okay, if I do this and I do this, if I push this guy into here, he'll attack his buddy, and I can kind of swing around this way, knock him off the level. It's really good. I think I've sunk like 20 hours in already over the past like week or so. Play on Steam Deck, but it is on PlayStation. Highly recommend it. Check it out, because it definitely won't be for everyone. Not a court game. But it is really good.
Not many are nowadays.
Well, especially because it's like the card. I know you're kind of zone out when it comes to cards and stuff, and your tactical gameplay. So like,
Yeah, I wish Marvel Rivals collected. I really do. Yeah, especially after the movie I watched this weekend. I was like, oh, I wish I could just go play this.
Did you watch Deadpool over?
Yes.
Did you watch Deadpool?
Yes.
Did you watch Rice?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Still not gonna spoil anything. But my God, I love that movie.
That was such a fun ride, you guys. It was a fun ride.
This is not a spoiler, but there's a part in the movie where because he breaks the fourth wall like a million freaking times. But when he tells us like, hey, don't worry about it, like we're getting there to the ending. And I was like, I really like literally I was about to turn to the person I was sitting beside and be like, why is all of a sudden, like, because he was so good, and then all of a sudden it literally drags out for like 5 minutes where I'm like, whew. What are we doing here? And then he literally talks to the screen. He's like, don't worry. we're going there. And I'm like, oh, thank God.
Especially because they had a joke about the longer run times and the more padding, like 20 minutes before that, and then they go ahead and do exactly that and then comment on it.
Yeah, because all of a sudden I'm just like, I felt like, and now I got the joke because I was like, they literally just had us sitting here watching nothing for like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay,
yep,
yes,
like on purpose. We literally just rewatched the second one, and then it's like the ending fight where he's like, spoilers for the end of Deadpool 2. Obviously, like he's dying at the end of Deadpool 2, but his death scene is like 6 minutes long of him just constantly talking about the fact that he's dying, but it takes like minutes upon minutes for it to actually happen before everything else happens, obviously. But yeah, great movie, great flick. I feel like it's just such a love letter to the Fox universe and to the Marvel movies that came before and after Iron Man on that side of the fence. Really enjoyed it. Really loved it.
I really loved that it was a love letter. It was a tribute to everything that we had experienced before. And yeah, you know, the breaking the fourth. I love that the audience is just with it the whole time, and the movie doesn't take itself too seriously. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and it definitely takes the multiverse and goes, hey, guess what? None of it makes sense now.
Yep.
Gotta love that.
Nothing, because nothing matters. Like as he said in that one interview, he goes, nothing matters now because I can do what I want when I want. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Because nothing makes sense anymore.
Especially give Ryan Reynolds the keys to do it, and he will run with it.
Yes.
Let's hop into some gaming news, folks. Let's hop into a couple of quick hits before we get to the meatier stuff. Like starting with the story coming from IGN, because Like a Dragon fans buzz as Sega trademarks Yakuza Wars. This is coming from Ryan Dinsdale. Like a Dragon fans have grown excited after series publisher Sega filed the trademark for something called Yakuza Wars. The trademark was filed in Japan on July 26, 2024, but only made public today, August 5th, as spotted by X/Twitter user Wario64. RGG has already said that they're revealing their next game sometime between September 26th and 29th at Tokyo Game Show, with many fans now believing Yakuza Wars could be it. Guys, when we talked about this story a week or two ago, I said, in my dream, in my heart of hearts, I want a Fire Emblem-like Yakuza game. If this is what this is, I will lose my goddamn mind. Is it likely? I don't know. Is it possible? Yes.
Yeah.
The wars in it makes me scared that it might be like an RTS, like a StarCraft or like a Halo Wars type thing, which I really hope it isn't, because I hate those games and I don't want to have to play one because it's Yakuza, even though everybody knows I will. The kind of common theory is that it's a Musou. Not usually a fan of Musous, but I did play the Persona 1 and really liked it. So if RGG is doing a Musou, I mean, I'll play it. I'll play it. Musou?
Yes.
Like Dynasty Warriors, where it's like a ton of enemies and you're just kind of mowing through people. I
love it.
So we'll find out about it soon enough. But like, interesting, that they're using the Yakuza name, which they literally just like put.
I would think it's a tactics game.
I hope so, dude.
I think that's what it is. Like, I think there's way too many. It's like Halo War, like all of them. Anytime they use, it's a tactics game.
Plus, like, I'd be interested to see what like a Yakuza RTS would like look like. A tactics games makes more sense for me, given the party combat, given how everything works. But I don't know. Like, some people were saying, Dennis from over here on Console Creatures was saying that he may think this is like a prequel to some of the older characters back in their day. They could do that and keep that as your kind of action combat, because we don't know what's going on with Judgment. Regardless,
of be a mobile game.
That is another theory, is that it is a mobile game of some sort.
It sounds like one.
And again, I'd be in, because I friggin' love Yakuza as much as I don't want to play a mobile game. We'll find out, but I had to drop that in to kick things off because it's around the corner, and I just, whatever it is, I need it. And if this is a tactics Yakuza game, I will lose my goddamn mind. Okay? I need that to be known. I will be insufferable at the end of September. So don't worry.
So I don't even have to deal with it.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
I will just text and call you about it instead. Okay. Let's move on to our next story. Not sure if this is going to do anything for anyone, but I feel like it should be brought up quickly. Coming from IGN, written by Adam Bankhurst, a new Darksider game has been revealed. Be prepared to ride again. A brand new Darksider has been revealed at the THQ Nordic Digital Showcase, and while we didn't learn much, we do know that we should all, quote unquote, be prepared to ride again. As detailed by PlayStation Blog, the currently untitled Darksiders project was given a brief teaser trailer that takes place in a fiery chamber.
Can we watch
and possibly
what's the trailer look like?
Yeah, in this chamber, there is stuff going on. Darksider fans should be stoked. Let me pull the trailer up. I am not a Darksiders person. I've never played any of them, so I
played a
will
bunch of them.
I will exit out of this conversation and make room for you.
Genesis was terrible.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah. Well, it tried to be Diablo, and it's like it was just.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad, especially because I think the first one was fantastic. I think the second one was
Yes.
great, and then I don't know. It's like they jumped the shark and they were like, let's try and be different. Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Genesis is like Diablo mixed with like God of War, and I'm like, yeah, no, this doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm hoping they go back to the drawing board.
I jumped in on 2 and I really loved my experience.
It's a
It
good
was
game.
super, super, super fun.
I think this series is very underrated, but I think Genesis
Yeah.
destroyed it because that game sucked, and 3 was not good either. Let's be
Is
honest.
is it worth
Yeah.
going back and playing these games? I never
think
played
there's
them.
an HD version of 2. I could be wrong though. I
Mhm.
think there is.
Yeah.
Like 2's a very good game.
I think it's worth it. It's super fun. I think that you won't even really feel kind of the datedness of the game because the
You will if you play
gameplay
1.
was I was
You
gonna say
will.
two is a little bit more, you can grasp it a little bit better. So but
I'm just seeing if
think
it's
it's
on
worth
Plus.
it. It
It's
would be
probably
fun.
on Plus. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, this game was
Evidently, I
super
own
fun.
Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. I
Because
don't
it
know
was a
from what.
PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah,
It was a PlayStation Plus game once.
yeah. It
Okay.
was
So
in the
that
monthlies.
I say Darksiders 2, Matt, is a turn your brain off, kill a lot of things on the screen.
Yeah.
Download queued.
It's not a bad game at all. It might actually be the perfect game for you to be handheld gaming.
Mhm.
To
Yeah.
be totally honest, it might be perfect for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah, that's true. Yeah, the handheld experience would be nice for this. Like I played this I actually played this. Was it the GameCube or is this anyway?
God damn, is it that old?
It's Xbox. It's PlayStation 3 or 4.
No, maybe not.
It's PlayStation 4.
Maybe I'm talking about the PS3 actually, because
Is it
Darksiders
PS3?
GameCube
2?
would slap.
yeah, the second one.
I can't remember. I know 3 and Genesis where I was just like there's a main character in the first 2 games, Matt, and then in 3 they're like, hey, here's this new character, and then in 4 they're like, here's the whole different way to play the game, and you're just like, what the why?
Oh, maybe I played it on Switch actually.
Oh my god.
Okay, so it's currently on sale on Steam for $8, and it's Steam Deck verified. So maybe I'll go in that direction. But
Yeah,
yeah, might check this out.
Give it a go. Want to hear your thoughts because like this one was a popular one in my community.
All right. Well, I'm excited that you guys are excited, and maybe I'll be excited in the future. Going on to our next story, which is the one for court here, coming from IGN. Valorant is now officially available on Xbox Series X and X and PS5 after the open beta period. Coming from Adam Bankhurst, they had a quick open beta period. Riot Games has surprised fans by officially launching Valorant on Xbox and PS5. I'm personally really stoked to try this out. I didn't hop into it on the beta because Marvel Rivals was keeping me busy, but Valorant was a game I've always looked at on PC, and it's always looked really fun. Rice, have you played Valorant?
I have.
And are we excited about this?
I am excited. That is the bottom line. The reason why is because I have some friends that are just like have always gotten me to try playing with them on PC and whatnot. But a lot of my gaming experiences come from my consoles, and I just like being able to kind of like access everything from there.
Mm-hmm.
Hot take for the PC elitists, but I really do kind of gravitate towards more my console. So being able to join my like friends on Valorant that much easier is a good thing for me. So yeah, the bottom line is I'm pretty excited for it. I am absolute dog water at this game, but
Water.
I'm in it. I'm in it for friendship.
Hell yeah. Let's hop in together. We keep saying we're gonna do this. Let's play it together.
Yeah.
Let's roll into our next story. About again one of Court's most favorite games. Coming from VGC, written by Chris Scully, and we got our first footage from ABO's The Last of Us Season 2 earlier today, actually. Footage was shown as the end of a montage of shows coming to HBO and its streaming service Max in 2024 and 2025. I'm going to pull it up and let it play without any sound. It's towards the end, but we got our first actual look at The Last of Us.
I don't think you would be DMCA'd if we're as long as we're talking about it. then you're allowed.
Yes, let's play it.
Yeah, let's do it.
We can't hear it, so it doesn't matter.
You can't hear it?
No.
Cannot.
Okay, hold on.
Also,
Hold on.
Catherine O'Hara, that's awesome. Who is she playing?
That
I'm
is
so curious.
amazing.
I don't know. I'm guessing somebody else from. Did we meet? Who's running the settlement?
Well, we never meet them in the game.
We do meet them. Who's
Oh,
running
you're
the
talking
settlement?
about
Tommy's wife.
Tommy's wife?
Yeah, but that's not
That's not
can't
her.
be Catherine O'Hara.
But did we meet
Tommy's
her in the
mom,
first game?
Yes, we did.
We did. Okay. Now we should be able to hear sound.
Did you hurt her?
Yeah, as long as we talk over it and we're
Then what?
Yeah.
it's allowed.
What did you do?
Like it look.
Oh,
Heat.
I saved her.
I saved her. Oh my
I'll
god!
explain
and
the
that
rules
tear?
of something like this. If you're watching a trailer, as long as we are adding something to it and we're doing commentary about it, it is allowed.
I think it's looking fantastic. I don't know who Catherine O'Hara is playing.
I am very
Obviously,
curious, but she is a phenomenal Canadian actor. Actress.
Yes.
She's incredible, David.
That's pretty good.
SDTV is where I remember her from, or she's also in
Home
Home
Alone.
Alone. And,
Yep.
Home Alone, yeah.
Home Alone is
Yeah, the
classic.
fact that my son knows who she is as Kevin's mom is pretty hilarious. So.
We
Right.
just watched Angels in the Outfield, and
Same.
the Dove lady from Home Alone 2's in it. And my daughter's like, "That's the Dove lady from Home Alone 2." I'm like, honey, that's Matthew McConaughey. That's Adrian Brody. I'm
Right.
like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. There's
Joseph.
an amazing,
Oh my goodness.
oh my god, unbelievable cast.
So good.
Sorry,
We derailed hard.
I think I saw that movie back in like grade school
It's
at
on
school.
Disney Plus.
I
Because my daughter. So we've
I
done.
don't care.
We've
enough
done
to go
all the
watch
Ghostbusters. We've done. We're doing the Fantastic Beasts, and we watched Goonies over the weekend. So now
Nice.
we're gonna go, which told way too many swear words. So we're gonna go. She wants to watch Jurassic Park now. So
What?
yeah,
Well,
I
you
know.
should just watch the better one and watch Jurassic World. But yeah,
Whoa!
Down-
Is that your take?
That's
We're
not a take.
derailing so hard right now.
Yeah, that's not a take. No, really, Matt.
okay, here. Let me get in front of this. I don't think I've ever actually watched the originals. I watched Jurassic World
Okay,
and
you
Mad
don't
Max
need-
on the
hold
same
on.
day.
You don't need to watch Jurassic Park 2 or just Jurassic Park 1.
Just one.
I've seen like bits of it on like TBS or whatever back in the day, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down to watch it from front to back. I don't genuinely mean the world is better. But I
No.
will say Jurassic World
You
had
better
more
not,
fun
because it's
than
no.
Mad Max.
Yeah. Listen, I enjoyed the World series. It was still really
the last
fun
one.
to watch. The last one was like, okay, you're trying really hard here for redemption. But man, like as a huge fan of those movies, yeah, number one is an absolute masterpiece.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong, except for the fact that they go down a cliff into a
Oh, sure.
Tyrannosaurus pit after the Tyrannosaurus is just standing right at the wall, which makes no sense. But hey, we're here. That's where we are.
Some of the best voice
But
lines.
like Matt,
in
you
that,
still
though.
haven't watched Back to the Future or 89 Batman, so like your tastes a little suspect.
Exquisite. But part 2 is looking real good. We saw some clips there. Catherine O'Hara, I'm guessing she's going to be somebody at the settlement that's connected to Joel.
I think
given
she's
that it's-
probably a new character altogether.
Probably, yeah. But
true.
it's looking
mom?
incredible. No way.
Why not?
They're like the same age.
No, they are not the same age. Catherine O'Hara is like she looks great. She's very old.
How
like-
old is she?
Oh, she's in her 70s.
70, bro?
Yes, she's the same age
Yeah,
as my
she was.
parents.
Okay,
Hey.
I don't know. I don't know if she'd be Joel's mom. I think that would be like a massive character to bring in.
Well,
but-
they had kids young like that back in our parents. Like their parents were only like 15, like not 15, sorry, like 18 years older than their kids. Like
Honestly,
they
it
had
would
kids at
still
18
hit.
during the war, right? They're baby boomers.
Would definitely still hit.
Yeah. Curious. I think it looks great though. I think Joel's mom is too important of a character to bring in.
Well, I'm just trying to think of
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm thinking about the game here, and I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
she is a character that.
So you were thinking maybe it might be Tommy's wife, Matt?
I can't. We did meet her in the first season, so I'm going to take that.
Yeah,
back. It can't be her. I just think she's
Sorry,
probably
not the first season, the first game.
Yeah, I'm just thinking she's somebody. No, we did meet her in the first season of the show.
Oh, we did. You're right.
Yeah. We were at thing that we were at in the
Yes,
encampment,
you're right.
I'm just thinking she's probably somebody that lives in Jackson with them.
That's
That
what I'm saying.
Joel's
New
also,
character.
yeah. I just think she's somebody like that. Like, I don't know if she's gonna have any like lore importance because I think Joel's mom would be.
You don't put her in the trailer unless she does.
Yeah, she might be important to this.
So what were they saying with the unfolding of part 2 in terms of the show? Like, is it going to be fleshed out over a couple of different seasons, or
I think
is this
3 seasons?
Okay, so in that case, then what part of the arc are we experiencing here? Are we experiencing like the basically?
I'm not too sure. I think based on, and this is just, I don't know how to like have this conversation.
It's hard.
Based on shooting parameters for a certain actor on it.
Yeah,
he wasn't there as long. That person wasn't there as long as the rest of them and was doing other movies.
I think
yes.
Okay, so you're understanding what I'm saying.
I'm understanding exactly what you're saying.
I think if they are going for if they're going for 2 seasons, the obvious point to end it is in the first half of the game.
Correct.
Like when the perspective swaps is the easiest place to swap.
Right.
If they're going for 3 seasons, I wouldn't be surprised if they end it when they first get to Seattle or when the first
I think that's when they end it.
Yeah, when the first major event in Seattle happens, like when Ellie starts her rampage. After the first person, we learn a little bit more, and then they end it like somewhere around
because
there.
You could do a lot of backstory, and literally end it right when she gets to Seattle. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could end it right there, or like her, as you said, Matt. Like, because you could do a ton of backstory here, like a ton. Because you could do a lot of the flashback scenes now.
You could have it happen in chronological order to an extent, because obviously holding some scenes back.
There are actors that are no longer going to be able to be available because of other projects, so they're going to have to film those scenes already.
I'm sure I'm sure you're right. I'm sure they'll film all of that actor's scenes,
or more than it could be more than one actor. We're not.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, actor doesn't necessarily delineate gender.
No, I think even though I said actress for Catherine because I corrected myself, I'm pretty sure we only call them actors now.
Correct.
Okay,
that is correct.
Yeah, everybody's a thespian, an actor.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, I think it looks dope. We already
not a magician. I'm sorry, it's just this. Have you seen that? Like that?
Yes.
I'm not what you say I am. Yes, you're a musician. No, I am not a musician.
I am not a magician. Sorry, Matt.
No,
it was like as soon as we said that, that all it was going through my head, right? Why are you calling me that? Because
this is something. It's something that's gone pretty
music.
viral.
You sing music, yeah. So you're a musician? No,
I'm not a magician.
What is this from?
It's Bobby's interview with what? I don't even know who the hip hop artist is.
Bobby Althoff interviews.
It's the funniest thing ever. She's like, so as a musician, she's like, excuse me, why are you calling me a musician? She's like, I don't do magic. And she's like, I didn't call you a magician. I called you a musician. She starts getting so mad at her during the interview.
That's amazing.
And then Bobby's just like, okay. All right.
Bobby's known for kind of her bit.
I know who she is.
Right.
Right. Downright annoying, but she has great guests.
And so, like, I don't know if some of the guests are doing a bit with her or if it's just
no. This isn't annoyed. A bit. This interview. Come on.
She looked, mad annoyed.
The one that kills me is she's with that. Who's that? She's with Bobby Lee on the tennis
court.
Bobby
Lee,
and she calls him Jackie Chan, and he's like, he gets so mad because she was referencing Karate Kid, and she's like, "You're like Jackie Chan," and he's like, "Hold on," and he's like, "The Jaden Smith one," and he's like, "Oh, okay." He gets real upset.
I love that he kept going back to the tennis.
Yes, dude, back and forth. So good. Let's move into a genuine court story because Dragon Age Veilguard is going to get their release date announced next month. This is coming once again from VGC. According to BioWare and a new blog giving updates on the game, next month's update will include a roadmap to launch and more information about the game. EA announced last month that Dragon Age the Veilguard will be released this fall or autumn. So we do know that it is coming this fall. Court, when do you think this is actually launching?
I don't think we get it till autumn.
So, like, you thinking what, October? Like, does November? Like, what are you thinking about in terms of like rough timeline?
Okay, so you've got EA. This is EA's big release, right? So this EA, I would assume, wants it for the fall, like the holiday. I would assume that's when they want it. Like I would assume they want it for fall, but I don't know how that. Like, we haven't seen a lot of this game. That scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah, we've only seen cinematic stuff, right?
Yeah, like we really haven't seen a lot of this game. So for it to be like, and I haven't seen people say they played it. Like I've looked up a lot about this game. We've seen people complain about the new art direction, the way they went with it, without even playing the game, because that's what we do on the internet. But that's fine.
I saw some people saying that they played the first 4 hours of it or something. There was a preview round like a month ago.
I didn't see anything. I was checking out the grub to see
if
he played it. Yeah, you could be right. I just hadn't seen anything. No one like Bobby or Steve. They haven't said that they've heard anything about the game. So that worries the living daylights out of me, especially because how excited I was for Mass Effect Andromeda, and that sucked. And then it's so I'm really hoping I don't get let down, because the Dragon Age series, like Inquisition, was one of my favorite games.
Such a great game.
That's such a good game. Like that's peak PS4, and then
100,000%. Yeah.
So I'm really, my expectations are, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get it day one, and we'll go from there. And I'll take my own. Like I'm not gonna wait for reviews. I'm gonna get it right away and just jump in. And I hope I won't be disappointed.
Yeah,
I think that's where I'm at with it.
I hope I do hope it's going to be good, because this may be like, I keep looking at like Origins stuff to like try and hop into one to see if I'm going to like it or not.
I would just play Inquisition. The other ones, they're going to play really old. Game is old, unfortunately. Like Dragon Age
still plays well.
Yeah, Dragon Age 2. Is that the one with the dragon is that the one with the dragon on the front? I can't remember.
Inquisition is the one with like the green box.
No, Inquisition's amazing. It's the guy who looks like he's He-Man on the front cover. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
The one before that, Origins. I think it's Origins. It's very good.
No, isn't it 2? Isn't it Origins then 2 then?
Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. I gotta go back.
2 has that red dragon in the front.
Yeah, 2 is very good. But I think it would play old game as old. No, Dragon Age Origins has got the dragon on the front. See, I knew I was right. Dragon Age Origins is very good, but it will play very and 2 has the dragon. They all have the dragon. Jesus, Murphy.
It's like the series is called Dragon Age or something.
Yeah. But it looks very.
I'm wondering when you think this is going to hit, because September doesn't have a ton of major. We got Astrobot on the front.
Dude, if it comes to September, then I'm very worried about this game.
I think it's too soon. October, I mean, we have stuff like Dragon Ball and Metaphor, but that's early October, and I don't really think they're going to worry too much about JRPG stuff.
Unless that thing that we're going to talk about later, that we're probably going to get in September, and they show this, and they're like, it's coming out. Like, if you look at the last trailer, they show sort of gameplay. Like, they're in world, and you're walking around, and it looks great. But we've barely seen anything on this game.
But they wouldn't. They would probably talk about it anything Xbox related, right? So again, Xbox is confirmed to be doing something at Gamescom. Like maybe they're part of Opening Night Live, and that's when we get.
Why does it have to be Xbox?
Aren't they owned by Xbox?
EA?
Not EA. Oh my god, I was thinking Obsidian. I don't know why.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
Didn't this get unveiled at the Xbox showcase or whatever? A couple months
correct.
Ago?
Yes, that is right.
So they might have.
Oh yeah. Then if we see something at Gamescom, like what they showed us is the trailer, and he's just walking around the world, and like I'm watching it again now just to like get myself back there. But you're right, Rice. There's a ton of. It's just not a lot of gameplay. It says gameplay trailer, and there's not a lot of gameplay at all.
It could be
That's
November.
What scares the crap out of me.
I'm guessing November then. Rice, where are you at on date?
Yeah, I would agree with you guys. Like it's there is a too early for it, just because I don't know, man. Like I need some more concrete gameplay, because I was so kind of drawn to the Inquisition gameplay. Art style, I mean, people can have gripes about that. That's allowed, right? You can critique those things, and it gives you a certain kind of feeling or trajectory as to where the game is going. I can understand those perspectives, but at the same time, just like we don't have much, and so like I don't know that I would feel confident it just like kind of shadow dropping on us like that. So I would hope more time.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like late October, early November, early to mid-November seems probably right. Like if this is their big fall game.
But what I'm just looking at what's like coming out.
That's
Like,
exactly.
I think it has to come out at that time. Like EA needs a big game in the fall.
Right.
They don't have a Star Wars. They don't have anything else to bring out. This is it.
You're right.
Yeah.
This
It has to be late October, early November. Yeah, 100%.
They need to play. They need to play a
This
hand.
could be early December. Like that is a good spot now for games. Like first week of December, because you're still getting the Christmas people and you're still getting the people after.
Would they qualify that as winter though? Because they're saying autumn, fall, right?
Yeah, but I still think it's a holiday. I think the new window is holiday for any game that comes out in autumn, fall, whatever you want to do.
Sure. Fair. Yeah.
You could, we have climate change. December, we barely even got any snow, man.
Yeah, true.
Climate change isn't real, Court.
Yeah. Why?
How could something how if the earth is flat, why is there climate change? Okay.
Sorry, I triggered Court.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I got my absentee ballot in the mail the other day.
Right.
So I have a work thing that I was supposed to go to in at the end of October, which is literally during the US election, and I was going to wear a t-shirt that said I voted absentee in Fulton County, Georgia, 2016. I want to wear it because people like get a little political here. So absentee ballots are for people that are citizens of the United States of America that do not live there. That's what they're for. But when you hear about it on the news, they act like it's like this boogity man. It's this thing. It's just a thing where I go on a webpage and I order my ballot and it comes in the mail and then I fill it out. It's so archaic. Like,
was it boogity? Is that what made you?
Yeah.
It doesn't even make any sense why people are so scared of them. And it's just like this thing. If someone is in the military and they are overseas, they are voting an absentee ballot. Like that's what it is.
Right.
Bro, it's whatever they want it to be for whatever reasons they want to use. It's all
that's it.
It's all boogity. Let's hop into our next story coming from Jordan Midler at VGC once again. August PlayStation Plus games include Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga.
An amazing game. Everybody
games are going to be claimable next week, including Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and Ender Lily's Quietest of
Tomorrow. Games are available tomorrow.
Games are available tomorrow, which means today is your last day to grab Borderlands 3, NHL 24, and Among Us. I think it's an okay month. I think it's fine. Like Lego Star Wars is cool, but like I don't give a single flying fuck about Five Nights at Freddy's. And Ender Lilies, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So
I think they're being smart again. PlayStation was always known as like the teenager, more mature console.
Yes,
and they are diversifying themselves. And every other month, they're giving something to people to play with their kids. And I think they're being very, very smart. I truly do. I think it is a very smart play by them. That 1 month they'll give us an RPG. The next month they'll give us like, here's a Lego game you can play. Yeah, you can any age group can play this game.
Yeah, I think Lego Star Wars is a great get. For me, it's more like the other two are just kind of like, eh.
Well, Lego Star Wars is already on Game Pass, so it's like it's almost if a game that is not first party comes to Game Pass first, or vice versa, you know it's coming to the other one
eventually. Right.
I'm still waiting for I've got one more month until Game Pass tries to charge me $22. Let's see how that works out. Even though I have a subscription.
That's right.
We'll see that. Hey, you know what? Xbox is going to be at Fan Expo. Let's go talk to them there.
Yeah, we should just
I didn't get an email because I don't exist anymore, but that's fine.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm curious.
They're literally, they got the Reddit.
Court's gonna be the boogity man. I'm more looking forward to the extra and premium list. I feel like these essential games for me nowadays are just kind of like, all right, they're there. I'm always more looking forward to the extra and premium titles.
And you're right, because they've been very good
bangers.
Like, I think we talked about this before, but if you look at the last, I would say 3 to 4 months, PlayStation Plus value over Game Pass has been bigger.
Yeah, the games have been phenomenal.
I will say July Game Pass was very strong. I will say
what was in Game Pass in July?
Dungeons of Hinterberg, they got Block, they got Flintlock, they got a bunch of like indie hits. I will say July slapped.
But I get what you're saying, but indie hits are because we live in a zeitgeist of these this is what's going on in the game industry. From my pretty much 80% of my friends that I talk to on the weekend that are parents, they don't know what the hell you're talking about, Matt. So they literally, well, it's true. They don't know.
You're right.
They don't. And for them, half of them are like, oh, I've got to get an Xbox now because Call of Duty's on Game Pass. And then I walk them through like the extra it's going to cost per year to get that Call of Duty. And I was like, why don't you just wait till it hits there, pay for 1 month and then walk away? Because Xbox does that to themselves. But that's because I said, here's the games that are on PlayStation Plus. And even my buddy was like, oh, you get EA Play. And I'm like, well, you can get EA Play. It's just an extra $10 and it's still cheaper than getting Game Pass.
I want to bring into a story that I meant to pull up and I just forgot about it until having this conversation. Because I saw this going around earlier this week and I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about it. But according to True Trophies, PlayStation Plus Extra dropped 48% of its player count in July 2024. After the Days of Play 2024 event gave June's lineup a bunch of attractive bonus games, we expected the PS Plus Extra and Premium July 2024 lineup to see a drop off in player interest. However, even accounting for those bonus games, Extra and Premium's player count for July 2024 was one of the lowest of the year. So, a couple things I want to preface this. This is just saying the amount of people who played games on the service. That doesn't necessarily mean subscribers.
Okay.
This is saying that this amount of people, but I did started digging into this, and a lot of people online were talking about canceling subscriptions or dropping the Essential because they were coming up on their year point from last year, where Days of Play did offer a discount for returning players. This year, Days of Play did not do that. If you had Extra or Premium, if you had Premium, you got nothing. If you had Extra and you were going to Premium, you got a slight discount. But they did not offer any discounts for any returning players. So a lot of people, from what I was seeing online, either dropped the PlayStation Plus membership entirely or dropped down to Essential because they're like, forget it, we're not paying. It is still seen as an expensive service. I'm not saying.
I think you're 100% correct. And we also, if you look at, and this is, I'm going to get very adulty here, but the interest rates this year have been brutal. So anybody that's coming up for a renewal, if their parents were paying for it, they're like, no. It's just like either I pay my mortgage or I pay your PlayStation Plus thing. And I would actually think, I actually would think that this makes total sense, and probably the numbers would go back up around like Christmas time, where they're like, this is what you got for Christmas. Because as much as we pay for our, I would say a large chunk of this audience are teenagers, and they're not paying for their subscription.
Yeah. And I will say that I think I'd be curious to see what these numbers do look like a little bit down the road, and especially what Game Pass numbers will look like post price increase, because I do think this is kind of the aftershock of the price raises last year, because a lot of people weren't affected by it in moment.
A lot of people bought a bunch and
exactly, and had them stacked for a little while. So now that PlayStation did not offer any incentive for people in the program to stay in it, I don't think it is unimaginable. I don't think they lost 48% of their subscribers. Don't get me wrong here, but I do think they probably saw a sizable hit for the amount of players that dropped off, because a lot of people probably renewed around this time, given how last year they bought in. So I just wanted to bring that up because I do think that is worrisome. True. And I do think it's the start.
It's worrisome for Sony. It's not worrisome for
us. But I mean, like, it's the cracks. It's the cracks in the dam. You know what I mean? That I feel like a lot of these subscription services, not PlayStation Plus specifically, but Plus, Game Pass, Netflix, Spotify, everybody is raising prices. Yeah. And at some point, the dam will have to break for the amount of stuff that people will be able to pay for at one time. And if you're choosing between, if TV is more important to the family, if music is more important to family, there's going to be certain parts where subscriptions are going to drop off, and because everything gets exorbitantly more expensive. So I am curious to see how this will continue.
I think what they'll do is a lot of these places will take away monthly subscription and only allow you to pay for the year.
But it's interesting because a lot of places are doing the reverse, because a lot of the time annually they offer some sort of discount. Game Pass, you can't buy an annual subscription anymore. Correct. They want you paying month to month, right?
Which is crazy to me, because that's what I was suggesting to my friends who are like, oh, I just want Call of Duty and Madden. I was like, then Madden will, whatever it comes out, just wait a year and it comes out on the service, and then pay for that month and play it for a bit and get bored of it, because the game is just a reskin game every year. Madden's trash. And then Call of Duty, just play it for that month. The campaign is like what, maybe 5 hours, maybe,
if there is one.
Yeah,
if there's one. Yeah.
So, and you can just play it on Game Pass. Who cares? And then get out. And you don't even need a console anymore. Like, I am debating, because it's, when's it coming out, Rice? The little Fire Stick. You can start playing Game Pass on the Fire Stick.
It's available now.
So like, I could go buy a Fire Stick for $20, hook up my controller to my TV downstairs, boom, Game Pass. Don't even need a console.
Yep. Let's hop into one final story here, and this one's a bit of a doozy, but this is coming off. I'm going to pull in 3 different stories in here, folks. So let's roll through all 3, and then we'll kind of give commentary. But Bungie has laid off over 200 staff as it forms new studio within PlayStation. This is coming from Jordan Midler once again.
Bungie sucks.
Bungie has announced that it will lay off 220 staff, roughly 17% of the studio. In a letter published on Wednesday, the Destiny creator cited rising costs of development and industry shifts for what it has called some of the most difficult changes the studio has had to make. Basically, they go on to say that 155 there's a number of roles that are going to go into Sony. There is a team at Bungie that is being spun out into its own team, in its own studio by PlayStation. But a number of people are going to be losing their jobs. So that's story 1. I'm going to keep the hits coming because there was a number of former Bungie devs who reacted. Again, Jordan Midler at VGC, going at CEO Pete Parsons, basically asking him to step down because he is not taking any effect for what many are saying to be a lack of leadership. Amount of backlash was directed at Bungie boss Pete Parsons. You're a liar, a thief, and so many things we can't discuss publicly. Community manager Leanna Ruppert alleged on X. Step down without the giant Sony payout. This isn't on Sony. This is squarely on failure of leadership, plain and simple. A number of people were talking about how this guy's been buying car after car after car. He said apparently spent like over almost $2 million on cars alone in the last year. So this guy and C-suite is obviously not being affected. And then the final story that I'll pull in on this front is once again coming from VGC, but Payback was a title that Bungie was working on that has evidently been canceled. This is from Chris Scullion. It seemed to be a third person Destiny spinoff. It was an incubation project that was set in the Destiny universe. It was going to be a third-person perspective. It was supposed to allow players to use franchise's characters to explore a large world while cooperating to battle monsters and solve puzzles. So it sounds like this was almost like a Destiny Monster Hunter-esque co-op open world adventure, more so than the more focused, the kind of mission-based objective stuffs of Destiny 2. So that's a lot. That's 3 stories. Bungie's laying off a ton of people. A lot of blame is being leveled at the CEO and the leadership at Bungie. A lot of folks are saying this has nothing to do with PlayStation directly, but PlayStation is now going to step in and apparently now has more control over Bungie than ever before. A lot of this came down to milestones that PlayStation and Bungie had in their agreement that was basically saying Bungie has to be able to do X, Y, and Z for them to retain their current leadership. And regardless of how successful the final shape was, these layoffs were evidently in the pipeline because they said, you know what, we want to retain control, and rather than the CEO stepping down or anything else happening, they decided to gut the studio by 17%. Rice, I'm going to go to you first as the resident Destiny guy, as a lover of this world and a Bungie fan. Tell me your thoughts and feelings on all this.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking, just to say right off the top, because follow a lot of developers, a lot of people who were a part of the team that have been posting on LinkedIn, kind of just like, saying their farewells to this journey. When I think about all of these headlines and kind of the stuff that we read, I do think about families. I think about people's livelihoods and their passions and their skills and their talents. And for we can dig into some specific stories, but generally speaking, I just I tend to try and see what they would be going through as a result of something like this. And as someone who has loved Destiny and have followed developers who really genuinely care about what they did with the game in their specific department or whatever, you could tell that people just put their heart and soul into it. And to kind of experience their farewell in this way is pretty poopy. Bad leader.
You've been hanging out with your son a lot.
It's true. But just and hearing stories about bad leadership is
guy, what did the guy do? He took the bonus and bought things with it.
He bought 4 cars.
Yeah. It's gross, but unfortunately not surprising
and not unique.
And not unique. Yeah, man. And so it's all annoying and sad and kind of disheartening for even just the industry as a whole, as this trend continues amongst different studios, etc., etc. But yeah, that's my general sentiment on all of those thoughts. Even it doesn't make me incredibly excited to look towards the future because I'm still kind of grieving the present, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Court, where are you at on all this?
So correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of the issues with Bungie right now and these layoffs had to do with mismanagement, not because they were bought by Sony.
Yeah.
Because like I know Xbox, they can't hide from it. They bought studios and they just were like, because Microsoft's bottom line matters more than anything else. Their shareholders matter. So that's why those people got fired. And I know a lot of people, when Bungie was purchased by PlayStation, people were angry, but there was this whole thing about like, hey, we're separate.
Yeah.
It's almost like PlayStation should have took over.
Well, a lot of it is because, but it is not PlayStation's fault, but it is not impacted by PlayStation because
no, I
of the
know, I
deal
get
they
that,
made
but
together.
they didn't make the decisions of upper management to do the stupid things,
Yeah,
right? They weren't in charge on the slippery slope that got them put there,
right?
Like evidently they had like 3 different titles, like Destiny 2 and then 2 Marathon and then this Payback or whatever, all being like the idea of leadership was that it would all be funded exclusively by Destiny 2, which like how are you going to develop 3 games?
Yeah, that's not how the world works.
On the back of one that, no offense, had a number of again, you're basing it off of expansions and stuff at that point, which will never make as much money as a full price title. On top of coming off of what was it, the shape light, whatever one that was,
Lightfall,
not Lightfall.
Wasn't that the really bad one?
Which one was the bad one in Destiny 2?
Shape.
Not Final Shape.
There was a few. No, but Lightfall, right before the Final Shape, what caused the biggest Destiny players to really, really question whether or not Destiny 2 was going to survive.
So there you go. Yeah, off of that one, like it was just a string of bad decisions and stupid calls. And now
it's management. Like, yes,
100%.
PlayStation's going to come in and cut corners because that's the reality of life. Because you have redundancies, right? Like if any company buys another company, if they already have an HR, well, guess what? They don't need 2 HRs. Like it's just that's the way the world works. But from what I read on all this, this is Bungie's fault. Like they suck.
Well, evidently, like even like the CEO was like inviting people to his house to see his new cars and then laid them off 3 days later.
Yeah.
Like this guy seems like just a massive piece of shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say douchebag, but you use swear words, so
yeah. I'm cool. I smoke cigarettes in the alley and use swear words.
Dude, comb my hair. Everybody's smoking in that movie, and it's a kids movie. Like every 2 seconds, people were hacking.
Oh yeah.
So weird.
Dude, my wife got back into Gossip Girl lately, and I've been like side-eyeing some episodes, and the amount of stuff that these kids that evidently are like 14 or 15 years old are like smoking, drinking, and doing whatever else. I'm like, this is wild.
I lived a sheltered childhood. Like whatever I watched that. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't even let me watch The Simpsons, for God's sake. It was against the Lord.
You know what? So much of this makes sense.
It was against the Lord court, so I was not allowed to watch The Simpsons. But yeah, dude, like my heart goes out to all these devs, like pointlessly losing their job. And this is like the second round of cuts Bungie has done inside of a year. So after being very adamant that they were not going to do any cuts after the acquisition. So like, Pete Parsons.
The first round made sense. Like I said, redundancies. You're making cuts.
Right. But then why, like, don't be like, we're not going to make cuts and then turn around and make cuts.
Well, no, but that's
upper
management's sucking donkeys.
That's what I mean. I agree.
They can eat a bag of dicks. Like,
so
let's be honest
Pete,
here.
go fall down some stairs. You're a crap person.
Why is there always their name Pete? Like, what's going on with that?
I don't know.
Pete's a bad name.
Damn it, Pete.
Damn it, Pete. Let's round out the combo, guys, because we actually don't have any questions this week. I want to pick your brains a little bit about what we think.
Oh, and also, like, to everybody who lost their jobs at Game Informer, we're so sorry. That sucks.
Oh, yes, of course. How did I forget to bring up the Game Informer stuff? Tragic. Like, what an institution. Obviously, magazines have gone the way of the dinosaur. And, like, I really wanted to, like, Game Informer, I had, like, some deal, I think, like, 6 months ago, and I wanted to buy it, but they don't ship to Canada.
It's unfortunate. It's the company, right? Like it's GameStop. It's
GameStop,
and it's not GameStop's fault either. It is for the fact that they overstretched themselves and have way too many stores. And then when you try and hold back, you're still taking a loss on everything you've closed. So like that sucks for their bottom line. But the industry's changed. The fact that we're doing this makes it tough for other media companies to exist because we can do it for free. Do you see, like, if you're a PR company, do you go out and do for the guys that are the paid gig, or do you do it to the guys that are just going to do it to you for free that have the same audience?
Yeah,
That's the worst part about this industry. That's what scares me about it. Like our friends that are in it and they make a paycheck on it, scares the crap out of me.
It's awful because it's like, and you know what? No, I will say this is entirely like, fuck GameStop leadership as well.
They're terrible.
They've nuked the site. I literally just saw it. They closed the Twitter account down because
they put up stuff. Yeah, I saw that.
They put up stuff earlier today because like it turns out that the goodbye message that was written, it seemed like it was AI generated. So like the actual heart and soul of Game Informer put something up thanking a bunch of the people who had been there. They nuked that as well. So like forget it. Like I don't care. Will you make whatever decisions you want to make?
No. I'm just saying like the whole like GameStop is done. Like when they were making money off the stock, it still makes no sense to me. Like, the industry's dead.
It's just it's heartbreaking. Obviously, like shout out Alex Van Aken and a lot of really incredible people that have lost their jobs after doing incredible work. It's ridiculous. On the back of that, so yeah, obviously our hearts go out to everybody at Bungie, everybody at Game Informer, everybody who's lost their jobs over the last couple of years in this stupid.
I feel like every third episode is like we're talking about people losing their job.
I know,
Genuinely. Folks, let's talk a little bit about what we got left for PlayStation for the rest of the year because
Astro.
We got Concord, we got Astro. We know that. I want to know.
We got Astro. Let's be honest. Concord.
In terms of actual releases.
Okay, fair enough.
That are coming out that exist. Do we think this PlayStation Showcase or State of Play in September is real? And on the back of that, does the PS5 Pro exist? Is it coming out this year? I want to know what you guys think we have left in the hopper for the rest of the year. Or is it just Concord and Astro and we'll see you next year?
Here is my take that you're probably like, okay, so I don't think the PS5 Pro is coming out this year. And I only base this on one thing. So I work in an industry in sales and we import and bring stuff in from China and overseas.
Right.
The cost of a shipping container was $3,000. Like literally a month or two ago.
Okay.
It is skyrocketed to about 9 to 10 grand per container. The cost for Sony to bring the product over would cost way too much money, and it would be very hard to them to sell a console to us here in Canada and say the thing cost $800.
Gotcha.
So I think that because the pricing will go down. What happens is at this time of the year, there's a lot of right now, there's some strikes that are going on in Vancouver at the shipping ports, on and off, which is causing a lot of issues.
Gotcha.
So everything is having to come in through Montreal, and these ports are the same ports. Like California would have the same issues that Vancouver's having it. Right. It's on the West Coast, so anything coming on the East Coast is like New York and Montreal. So everything coming from China is going there instead of the other side. And it's raising cost everywhere. And they can do this because companies like Apple and all these other companies that bring out new phones and everything at this time of the year conveniently, and it's Christmas time, they have zero issue paying this and taking a loss just to get their product in. But a company like Sony, I don't think they're interested in taking a loss because a console is a loss to begin with almost, right? They're pretty much breaking even when they sell them. They would have to put up the pricing astronomically. So the rumors that we're seeing online that just started saying that they're going to delay the PS5 Pro, I think that's the reason based on what's happening in my industry. I sell plastic pretty much. I'm the devil. And
unrelated.
The cost of everything is going through the roof because of shipping container costs.
Right.
So I'm curious, Court, because I actually think you make a really salient point here, especially because they don't have software to match the drop this year. You know what I mean? Like if they had Spider-Man 3, Ghost of Tsushima 2. If they have like
Astro, but I don't think
it's not a 10-pole graphical thing where they can be like, this is why you want to play on PS5 Pro, right? They need that piece of software to say this is why this upgrade is needed now. Do you think then that this slides to next year and launches somewhat around or slightly before GTA 6?
100%.
Because you would think that that's going to be their make software approach will be play GTA 6 at 60 frames per second.
It actually extends the life of the PlayStation 5. It actually gives them more breathing room because I think we're only getting we're not getting a showcase. As much as everybody wants it, we are getting a state of play, and it's going to be like, here's a couple things, and that's it. That's what we're going to get. We're going to get a deep dive and maybe hear from Wolverine because Wolverine's hot right now, but
and there's leaks about it everywhere.
Yeah, I don't think we are getting this huge hullabaloo, especially if you're going to delay the PS5 Pro, which economically would make way too much sense, because if they wanted in the price range of $499 in the US, like that's the rumor, they're trying to get it in that 500 mark for the US. That makes it the same price we paid for the PS5 when it came out, that 679 mark for us. Which is still, the math never works, and I never understand it. I'm like, as someone who also like knows the difference between Canadian and US currency, I never understand the math, how they do it, where I'm like, you're actually charging us more than it's cheaper for me to drive to Buffalo to get the damn thing and bring it back. But anyways, I don't think it makes sense, because they would have to charge like an extra $100 in the US and $150 in Canada if they wanted to get it over here right now, because you're not getting it here yet. If you're going to have it for the fall, it takes it can take up to 3 months for the container to get here. So they're ordering it now. They didn't order it before. And it is just cost wise, oh my God, it's so expensive to get it here.
Well, especially because they don't have a use case for it this fall. You know what I mean? Right. So where are you at? Do you think that we're getting a showcase? Do they tease the PS5 Pro, like setting it up for next year? Or do you think they wait and start talking about everything in January? Like, what do you think PlayStation's cooking here?
Man, it's really hard to kind of like form an opinion after feeling like there's been a drought for PlayStation players, and like we're I don't know. I feel like this, right? If you're a fan of like the games that come out on PlayStation, whether they're AAA experiences or exclusives or whatever, you kind of want to boast about that, right? Like you want to feel good about the fact that like I have a PlayStation 5, all of these things. I haven't had much reason to look forward to the rest of the year other than Astrobot. Okay, so let me preface it by saying that do I think they are going
let's be honest
to
here, like we get Star Wars at the end of the month, buddy.
Yeah,
I know you're talking first party, but we get Star Wars at the end of the month.
Yo, I know. And that's the thing. There are a lot of great games. A lot of great games coming that I can play on a lot of other platforms as well.
Right.
So that said,
just not PC, because PC is terrible. Suck it, PC.
I don't know. I think that there are people like me who are just like, man, I don't think we're gonna get anything. So anything at this point would be dope. You know what I'm saying? Because the bar is so low. I don't think that they are going to announce anything about the
And Matt, I wanted to ask you. You mentioned GTA. We have already heard the rumors that PlayStation has the marketing deal for this game. It makes way too much sense to even wait to do you do a showcase and you're like, here's GTA and the PS5 Pro.
Yeah, I think the more I think about it, like I think you're onto something, Court. Like I would not be surprised. I could see them still doing a showcase if GTA is ready to talk. If they're ready to drop a gameplay trailer and PlayStation does have the marketing rights, I could see them saying, September, here is a showcase. Here is some Ghost of Tsushima stuff. Here is some Wolverine stuff. Here is some stuff that is basically going to get you through to the end of 2025. You're not going to date everything that way, but it will essentially be the plans for the next year and a bit. Introduce the PS5.
Why does it have to be September? Because like, we already know.
Because September is the last dated PlayStation thing that we have. Astrobot. We have nothing first party. But like they need to put something on the map.
But hear me out here. Why can't they be different? Because I'll say this till I'm blue in the face. I don't know what it is about. December is the only time of the year where we're all thinking about spending money. We all think about spending money there, and we have zero issue with it. The month hits, and we're like, you know what? Money's no option. I love everybody. Why about if we get a showcase in the first week of December?
I think
it makes no sense. But what if they did it and they stepped out of the box and we're like, here's everything that's coming, and you're like, I got to go buy this darn thing for Christmas.
The reason why I would say probably not is the Game Awards around the corner. But again, that could be supportive of that as well.
Jeff Keighley sucks.
I don't disagree, but it's still a major marketing thing in the same space that you have to contend with. On top of the fact that, I mean, PlayStation Experience was around that time, and they did have a press conference at PlayStation Experience back in the day.
Awesome.
So cool. So I feel like there's two paths here. Either you're right, there's going to be a state of play.
Where they showed Last of Us for the first time?
Game Awards.
What did they show? Oh, Uncharted.
Something like that. Yeah. But in my mind, there's two paths. Court, you could be 100% right. Here's a state of play. Here's something that'll, here's some
Deep
Wolverine
dive in
news.
Astro.
Here's a couple things about what's coming between now and January and February. Here's the next thing to look forward to.
Here's whatever Capcom's bringing out. Here's whatever Konami's bringing out.
And then early next year, do a showcase, or because they need to start changing the conversation. And even if they show off the PS5 Pro but don't date it, even if
why do they have to change the conversation? Their sales aren't dipping on consoles.
No, but the narrative around them is starting to change. The longer they
narrative in our zeitgeist, not in the narrative around everybody.
Sure, but again, they're speaking to us.
No, I get they're speaking to us for these things.
Yeah,
but like, perfect example. I just sold an Xbox Series X and a PlayStation 5 because I had my throne, right?
Yep.
And I still have one of each. The Xbox took a while. The PlayStation, less than 6 hours.
I don't doubt it. I just think
and
that
I sold it for $50 less than cost.
I think they just,
you see what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with you. And again, you could be 100% right. I just think that they need to start. Think they need to start talking. And I think a showcase being like, here's 2025, would get a lot of people really hyped, even going into the holidays. Because here's the other thing, right? Like, if you're going to want people to buy in at a time like where you said there's so much reason for people to be spending money, why not be like Wolverine, Ghost of Tsushima 2, whatever they have in store for 2025? Why not start dropping that?
You almost made me move there for a second.
But here it is. Like, here is a reason to own one, because next year is coming. Yeah, the PS5 Pro is coming. Like, there are things to celebrate here, and maybe they don't talk about the PS5 Pro yet to again try and push sales.
They could drop it and do pre-orders and say it's coming February.
Yeah, they entirely could. So for me, I think I can see either one of them happening. I could see a state of play where they just try to meander through the rest of the year and then go big early next year. But I can also see them coming out and being like, we're ready to talk. Nothing is imminent, but let's talk. And here is X, Y, and Z reasons why you want to have a PS5 this holiday, because this is what's coming next year.
My guess is we get the PS5 Pro in March, because it has enough space in between all that money that was spent at Christmas time, and then people don't. But dropping into September and telling us about it could work.
The only asterisk I put there is the Switch 2. It is still a major.
Is it coming out?
We next year. We just know that
but they would know. Like, let's be honest here. Sony would know
100%
coming.
So
and I'm also looking at, like, this sounds so weird, but I'm looking at shipping container cost, and they are extremely low from January to around the end of April. That's when the lowest costs are for companies. So if you're Sony, who is pinching pennies because like their TV division isn't doing great, and pretty much just the PlayStation division is what's holding them up, it might make sense to be like, you know what, let's delay it so we can give a better price point and we can take the market.
I don't disagree. So for me, I'd be curious, because the rumors about the next Nintendo platform are March, April. Like, it could be later than that. It could be around there. So I just think that they would probably want to, if it was the PS6, I don't think they'd care, because that thing will sell no matter what. But if we're talking about a mid-gen refresh that they're going to struggle to market anyways, they want to give it its own space from when people are going to be dropping a lot of money already.
I do agree that they need to. Like, it's a move that they need to do.
Yeah. So I can see both directions, and I think either are likely.
I just don't see us getting it this year. Like, the PS5 Pro is
no. I think you're right. I think it's probably slipped, especially because they don't have a reason to bring it out.
I really think it's the costing. Like, it makes no sense to me. It would be like the rumors about what the iPhone 16 is going to cost, and supposedly Apple's still taking a bath on it just to get it out here this year because of the cost. Like, this cost of the shipping containers has never been this high in the history.
Damn.
Like, I looked at the numbers, like I was going through my company's, I can see the costings, and it has never been this high. Like, at this year at Christmas, anything that comes from China, like, you know how we usually think everything is cheap? It is not cheap now.
Yeah. I'm curious as to what they're going to do, because I think
the dollar store should be the $3 store.
Legit, or the $5 store. Let's be real here. Like, I am curious on what they're going to do, but again, I could see a world where they start to think about swallowing that cost if they have a software reason to that they know this thing is going to push. They don't have that this year, right?
And we probably have we think Wolverine's next year, right? So
yeah, Wolverine, GTA 6, another first party game. You're going to have people locked in who are probably not going to be before.
And Bungie's game, right? Marathon's next year, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is
I
it?
think Marathon's next year. So you
And
have
then
Marathon,
there's
you have Marathon and Wolverine next year.
a lot of viable collaborations for like collector's editions pros.
Monster Hunter. Like you have some major titles dropping next year that you can make a use case for a PS5 Pro on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Makes way more sense.
That brings us to the end of the show, folks. Thank you so much for sticking around. Court, where can people see and hear more from you?
You can find me every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. on Three Dads and a Console, or you can catch my readings, and I have a review dropping this week on Console Creatures.
Go check Court out on all the spots. Rice Boy, what about you, my friend?
Hey, you can find me on twitch.tv/Rice BOYYYTV and the same on my Linktree.
Go check Rice out in all the spots. Climb that link tree. Of course, you can find me over here on Console Creatures on Twitter at Matt_Silversoul and my words at butwhythough.net as well. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Peace.